Live. Hello, Mimuna. How are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you, Robert?
I'm great. So,
Are you feeling trendy today?
yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to hear that from you, what you will share. But
hmm
uh, for the beginning, in two sentences, what was your idea and how does it change the world?
All right, great question. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me. Thrilled to be here. And let's do a quick introduction. That Hello, everyone. I'm Memuna. I'm a chartered accountant, and I've been working in ERP and a lot of stuff for 5 years. Worked in 13 industries with 35 companies doing their financial analysis and business analysis. And today we're going to walk you through my idea that changed the world of utilizing the financial and strategic data that is out there for you and making something out of it that can convert. So, not just leaving money on the table. So, my idea was originating from my own personality that I was so analytical from the start. But it's not only me, it's everybody. Like humans have this innate capability of recognizing patterns and developing hypotheses in their subconscious and conscious and utilizing that information for future decisions. So why not we see the businesses with the same idea, with the same vision? Like I started working 5 years ago, and I saw that many SMEs, startups, and solopreneurs, they were struggling to make sense of their industry and financial data. However, they had loads and loads of data that they could have utilized, but they thought, okay, it's just another thing. We can have our revenues, we can see the MRRs and profits. Why not just go like that? Why do we spend time on this thing? But this was a huge bummer because analyzing the trends, that's why I say trend is your best friend. Regardless, it's financial, it's strategic, it's operational, whatever. So you have to see the trend, you have to recognize the pattern, how it's recurring again and again, and you have to utilize it, capitalize on that. Capitalization means utilizing it to make more money. That's the first thing that comes to mind, right? And the second thing is to make yourself, your business, your processes better than before, right?
Great. So, can you make us understand a bit more about it? Can you share some scenarios how to do that and how this can help?
hmm So let's start very simple. I think that it is a very common practice among the small business owners because I'm working with them, the solopreneurs and content creators like you and me, like everybody here, that we are going and comparing ourselves to someone who is better than us on the job we do, right? We can think about companies comparing with their competitors. We can say ourselves comparing with another one. So if we see, there are two approaches here. I'm going to talk about financial analysis and strategic analysis. So let's talk about and understand more about the strategic one, that we are all in on the comparison and we leave the idea of industry angles sometimes. When I say industry angle, I mean just imagine that you are at a beautiful at a hotel at a beautiful seaside, right? And you are peeping from the window in the morning when the sun is rising. So if you peep at a right angle, you see a very good view. And if you just do not peep enough, because when the sun is rising, it's not at the, that much height that you see it right through. And that thing is the most beautiful thing, right? So when I talk about angles, it's about seeing how your business environment is shaping itself. So how do you utilize that? How do you think about that? Let's take a very simple example first. Remember Squid Games that came out in 2022? Did you see that season, by the way?
Yeah.
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 So you remember there were some guards with red clothes and black mesh masks.
Mhm.
that item, when that season came out, was the hottest selling costume on Amazon for 2 months straight. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And they made millions out of that. They imported it from China and sold it out. And that was just what do we call that? Just pump and dump thing. But they saw an opportunity, they grabbed it, they capitalized on that, and then they go. So there has to be one strategy in every business, through my point of view, that I suggest. One product is your flagship product that you make, that you serve, and that names with you. That's your thing. And then the second product, that is your pump and dump product. So that's how you ride the trend wave, but also you maintain your stability, your business stability. I would like to elaborate this thing with an example, with a scenario that's really, really close to my heart. All of us have been to hospitals, right? Right, Robert? Have you been to?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And there are always some scenarios. They say, sorry, ma'am, we're out of supplies. Can you please have this prescription and bring all these medicines from a retailer outside? This happens more than you think because till now, I think I've been working with 5 hospitals across the period. And this thing is so close to my heart because I once was working with a maternity hospital, and their data showed that they were stock out at a specific point of time in the year. And that time was ranging from July to August. July to October, actually, but August was the peak time. Actually, it is available on Google as well if you want to make sure that if I'm saying it right. You can see that high birth rates are observed in these periods. Why was this causing the stock out? Because they were not prepared previously for that period, right? So when they were not prepared, they just treated it, okay, we are maternity hospital, kids are born here round the year, it's not so special. But they did not notice that they were getting stock outage at a specific period, and that period was the period of high birth rate.
Mhm.
Now, what we did is that we saw their data and we saw 2 points there, two strategic angles that I was talking about. One, they were losing margins there. Like if they would have had those supplies, they would not just give them for free, right? They would not just hand them out at the cost they purchased them on. They would make a margin on that, and they made a hefty margin on the supplies. Don't you think that they make less margin? Or everybody knows that hospitals make so much money. And the second thing is that they were losing customer satisfaction. Their referral rates were low.
Yeah.
Nobody, like, there were people, but they were coming out of necessity. They were not coming out of need or want. They were not coming out of want. That was need right there.
Mhm.
So, what we did is that we asked them to arrange themselves a local supplier because what they had was an international supplier, and that supplier took a month or two to deliver. So what they did, they had main supplies in place, and then they had a backup supplier that would supply right away whatever is short. So
Mhm.
what that did is that it increased their revenue, it increased their profit from existing revenue, and then it also increased the rate of people coming in. Now, how
Excellent.
did that happen? Like, mothers that were going out, they were like, oh my God, my husband was so in peace. They did not have to go and run around. They were with me at the time. And that was so, like, that is so important in that kind of businesses. And every business has its own unique affiliation with people's needs, right? It's all about emotions. When you're doing business, you leverage the emotions and you work it out in your favor, right?
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
that's how the strategically recognition of your standpoints help you. Otherwise, you say it was a hospital. There was nothing special. They were prepared. They had every supplies. They would just go out, do their work, and come back. And they say it's how the business works. You can always make the business better for you.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
So, okay, what could be some business analysis points you can utilize here?
About the business analysis, I would say let's talk about why not we talk about Whole Foods? Because I was studying Whole Foods for some time now, and everybody knows that Whole Foods was acquired by Amazon some time ago. Why did they acquire Whole Foods? Because their stores are put out on the location near to all the supermarkets. We have social trends going on of mom saying that I'm willing to cut my costs on everything, but I want to make my family feed better, right? So there are many, many organic food stores out there, but why Whole Foods was the one? It's not just because they were good at their supplies, but because of their positions. And
Yeah.
that position was not only just near the shops, the supermarkets, but also what they did, they took data from GPS system, and then they see all the routes that are going out from that supermarket, either Costco, Walmart, whatever.
Mhm.
And they saw what is the most busy road there, from where most of the people are coming and going. And they put their store right on the corner. So more eyes are on them, and people think, okay, I get better food here, I get cheaper food there. I gotta get my supplies from there, but food from here. You
Mm.
understand?
Yeah.
So, how that changed the mindset. And another thing would be, how do we navigate through our financial things? I would come to the financials now because that is so important. We understood the strategic side a lot. Now we need to go towards financial. But before going there, let's say every business has their own strategic standpoints, and that standpoint has to be analyzed and finalized and then worked upon. So we can talk about it, or you can also utilize ChatGPT for that. And if you want to, you can just hit me up and I will deem you a prompt that would help you in understanding your business standpoints better. Now,
Okay.
coming to the financial point, the financial point of view can be complicated as much as anybody wants. Like you can go to as much depth as you want. But there is one thing, there are only five things in order to have a good look at your business. Have one look at a chart, one look at one screen, and you have the status of your business. And what are those five components that I'm talking about right now? One is revenue over time per product, cost over time per product, profit over time per product. I'm talking about net profits here, not gross profits.
Okay.
Then we come towards indirect costs that are not directly related to your sales, but you are incurring them, right? Internet connection, your rent, your administration expenses, anything that falls into that category.
Okay.
And then lastly, that we come to not so financial indicator, that is time spent per task, because that's how we reach the efficiency. It's not always about profitability. There are certain things that are very profitable, but there are certain opportunities that we are missing because we are spending so much time at one thing that can be automated, right?
Excellent. Great.
So, how do we, like, Robert, do you want to know how these five things can help
Yes.
to understand the finance better, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, here let's see an example. Let's say you have two products. You see them, one of the product has declining revenue. You would say, I would think about that. This product may have to go. Then you see declining costs. And you would say, okay, not so bad though. And then you say stable profits, and you would understand at that point that this product that may seem declining in revenue is because we started getting this thing at lower cost. So we started giving discounts. And because of that, the revenues are low, but profitability is stable. And on the other hand, we say stable revenues that on the first side give you, like most of I see, um, in a very non-offensive way, that there are many creators on LinkedIn that they say, I make $20,000 MRR, right? I have 120,000 ARR. It's not always about your ARR. Sorry. I
Yeah.
know that that's controversial, but it's not always about ARR. If you see somebody who is impressing you, or your competitor, your business partner, anyone, they say, I make so much money. You ask them how much you keep in your pocket, because
Yeah.
that was what matters the most. And that can be seen by looking at your data, and not just the whole data. You finalize what product is most beneficial at what time of the year. If it's successful at a specific time, what is that? What did I do at that time? I need to do that again. Or I need to learn more about that stuff that I did at that time and leverage that thing. And if you say weaknesses, you understand, you try to extrapolate them, and you see, okay, why did this happen? I need to analyze that. I need to change it. Now, if I say you maintain all that data, yes, you need to maintain all that data. Even if you do not have so complex operations, I would suggest you record your regular costs, your regular revenues, your time spent, and the activities that you spend the time most, and the activities that made you the most money, and what you did at what point that made you money more than rest of the activities. So that will help you to do the thing again, to repeat that success, right? So that is one thing. You need to collect data, you need to order it. Afterwards, I am a huge fan of analytics. Why? Because you see, Robert, when we see a chart, when we see a picture, if I write it in a paragraph, I was, let's say, I was in Italy. I was looking at the beautiful scene. The buildings were like that, the sun was like that, and you would be like, okay, miss, now what? Why are you telling me? You would not be impressed with it at all. And if I just hand over you a picture, look at this picture, Robert, that I took there, and you would say, wow, that's amazing. Right? And you would say, okay, I might need to go there sometime. So that's how the visual impact our brains, because it is psychologically proven we understand things better when we see them. And that is the main reason we see all these YouTube, um, other video platforms rising at the moment. Everyone does not need to read. They do not want to read, actually.
Yeah.
They just want to go get some information, put it into practice, and just go with it. So the same thing happens when we try to do our analysis. Let's say the example that I gave you. You might be seeing some figures on your SQL database, on your ERP system, or your Excel, let's say, if you're a simple goer. But you might not just be a number person. I would say many people just hate numbers. They are like, I don't want to do this at all. So, what you can do, you need to get yourself a visualization. Now, how do you get that? You might get yourself analytics tool, Power BI, click. If not, that's okay. That's not a problem. You might make them in Excel. That there is a plugin, a really good AI plugin made by Microsoft itself. That is Copilot for Excel. Copilot for Excel. That is $30 a month, I think. No, $30 a year or a month. I'm confused here. But that thing, you just Say, read my data, analyze it for me, and make some charts, make some infographics out of it. And it's going to analyze that for you. It's going to read that for you, give you the insight, give you the weaknesses and strengths, and it's also going to give you an infographic. And that thing is so easy to read. You would say a pie chart where most of the time is getting spent on an activity that is not giving you the highest revenue. So why not cut it down and spend our time on the other activity that is getting us money, right? Or we can not just talk about money here, we talk about our efficiency, our availability to learn more, because all the businesses, as per my 35 company experience, all the businesses lack somewhere. There is no business I've seen, regardless of the size, that is so efficient going on with no inefficiencies. There is not a single thing. So if you think, oh, I don't have this, maybe I'm behind some people. No, there are millions like you. I would like to tell you a very easy but very surprising fact that 68% of new businesses, startups, SMEs, like from very small to medium businesses, 68% of them do not have any analytics software or any analytics in place. No. So you see, it's so difficult to see numbers, and then you miss the trends. You miss the opportunity to see the rising costs. You miss the opportunity to see the rising taxes, right? So, and when you let that opportunity go, you face decline in your profits, in your cash flows, and that is very dangerous for a business, especially a small business that does not have a lot of backup at the back end to support their operations. And that's how you might have heard that 70% of the new businesses do not make it past 3 years. And that's the main reason that we lack the opportunity. We lose the opportunity. We lack the strategy in place. It's not, I would say, it's not costly at all. You can just see your thing and go on with the lowest cost thing. You do not need to be fancy with the softwares. No, not at all. And with automations, again, not at all. It's low code to no code these days with Zapier, with FTTT, and it's so easy to make them. It's not like you have to pay someone a lot of money to get that done. It's not like that anymore. So go on, do that stuff and utilize the data you already have. It's not just for tax filing.
Well, I hear you, but I don't completely agree with you,
Ah, okay.
because I have developed an ERP system for small entrepreneurs, and I saw a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
that are using it for the taxes
Yeah.
and things like that. But we
Mm-hmm.
embedded the data analysis and visualization and everything, but they what they actually need is Memuna.
Oh,
Yes,
that's so nice of you.
yeah, no, that's not nice. It's a fact,
It's a pleasure to hear.
uh, because they see the picture, they see the numbers, but they don't know what to do with it. They need
Yeah,
somebody like you who would explain what does this mean, and
yeah,
how does this impact their business, because a lot of business owners are not proficient in economy or something like that.
yeah.
They're engineers or
Hmm.
I don't know, chemists or something, and they can look at these numbers that tell you something, but
Yeah,
they don't talk to them.
yeah, yeah.
So
That is indeed, this thing is an investment in yourself. Like, you can get someone just for some time, show them your data and ask them how it is. It does not mean that you have to hire someone for a long time. No, you
Yeah,
can get an analyst and they will see your data, and that's how you roll.
yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, yeah. That was my point. I believe that every business owner should have a bit of economist knowledge and
Yeah.
should know how to read that numbers. But I see a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people that are not even willing to. They are okay. I'm not the number man, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody else
Yeah.
should took care about numbers and then they are surprised that their business don't thrive.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you said that, I remembered a very funny event. Like, I think in April, I was in Cyprus. I told you about that, right?
Yeah,
And there, I was working with the lighting business. They were dealing with lights. And I went to their warehouse and I was seeing the Christmas lights, the snowflake shaped and the other ones. They were there, the fairy lights, and they had the spider webs on them, on the boxes. And I was so shocked. Like, why? Why do you have this here? And they said, we keep it on stock. People need it, they buy it. I said that I don't think so. They are buying it. Right? So
yeah,
they said, we just keep the stock. They sell the most in the months from November to December.
yeah.
I think there is Thanksgiving in November, right? So these things are sold a lot. You don't know this is going to be sold shortly. And I
Uh,
was like, okay, sir. And when I went to the CEO, I told him, why not you just purchase this stuff in minimum quantity in the off season when they are not, so because the supplier is also going to sell them at higher prices at the time of need, right?
yeah.
So you just stock it and you put it in a place that is safe and not just exposed to weather. And then you do not like overshare it when the people are not buying it. Share other products on your platforms that people are buying around the year. And
Mm,
then share those things with big discounts because you already utilized low cost. And then give big discount at that time of the year when people want it, right?
mm,
So that's how you are going to capitalize again
mhm.
on the stocks, on the people's need. Like every business is about what our customer want. And if
Yeah,
we know it, we are successful.
yeah. Excellent. Now let's go to your business road.
Okay.
How do you start this business, and how's your experience as an entrepreneur?
It has been a bumpy ride, I would say, because when I started, like everybody, I was so scared. Like, oh man, how would I do that? What is the path that I follow? But luckily, I was able to meet some people who were so entrepreneurial. They guided me. Like, if for behind every, I would not say I'm successful because there is a long way to cover right now, but everyone that is functioning in the industry, there's someone who helped them to come up, right?
Yeah,
And there was one instant where I was pitching my solutions to one guy. He was owner of a um, the sanitary shop. That was a sanitary, fittings of bathrooms and kitchens, that kind of stuff.
yeah,
And he said, "You would see my data. You are so young. I have had an accountant for 25 years. He has more experience than you." And I was like, "Okay, all right, let's see. Can I please have a look at your financial statements and your stock status?" And he just said, okay, let's do that. He provided me in the files that I provided him. And would you believe that their import costs were so much around a specific time of the period of the year, right? And they were importing the most stuff at that time. And also, there was also an exemption through for their from their government at a specific time where they could import with lesser duties, and they were missing out on that as well. And I was like, sir, You have your accountant for 20 years, and that man is my biggest fan today. And we have been talking
Yeah.
continuously after that day. And it has been so amazing because this path that I chose while doing my job took me to those exposures that I do not think I would otherwise get. I talked to people from, various countries with various businesses, and it's so nice to meet new people, meet people, and see their businesses because everybody has their own style of doing business, right?
Yeah.
So some are utilitarian, they want to utilize everything, and some are conservative. They say, no, let's go like that, let's go easy, be easy.
Yeah.
So the utilitarian are losing, as per my experience, sometimes the stability because the utilitarian are like, okay, this is trending, let's go, this is trending, let's go. And by that thing, they lose the point where they could have something very specific towards their business, their flagship product, and stable income. They miss that. They have so much traffic, they can build that flagship product. And the other conservative one, they just go with the flagship product and they do not utilize the trends at all, right?
Great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we are at the end. Time flies where people are enjoying, especially
Yeah.
if they're enjoying the accountancy and numbers.
We finally made accountancy and finance interesting.
Yeah,
Otherwise, they say it's dry.
yeah, yeah. But I think I came from the former communist country, where accountants were basically, I don't know, not really appreciated, and didn't have any uh, how should main role in the company.
Hmm.
But when we became a capitalist country,
Hmm.
it changes just on the paper, and people
Yeah,
still do not understand that they are basically really important in your business, especially uh, if you're a big business. It's awesome important. If you're a small business, it
yeah.
is still important because uh, the small changes, small
Hmm.
adjustment can make the difference between going up or going down. So
For sure, for sure.
yes, I'm so
You're
glad
100% right.
I had you as a guest. It was really pleasure. And
Thank you so much. And it was a big pleasure to talk to you and everybody
yeah,
because today I was like, okay, it's too late because right now here it's 12 and a half at night. But I was so pumped to speak on this topic because this is, what drives me. And I
yeah.
was like, okay, let's go do that.
Thank you for your expertise.
uh, you're welcome. Always there.
Yeah. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye bye.